everybody. Lori here from Unique in the Creek. I'm not sure how many people are going to go on live with me because Scott is doing Mrs. Scarecrow or Mrs. Innifield right now live, even though I told him I was going live. Anyways, tonight we're going to do Jimmy O'Lantern. I'm going to show you. So we'll just wait for a few more people to pop on. Like I said, I don't know how many people are going to pop on, especially when Scott's on. But that's okay. You guys, if a small crowd is a small crowd, I don't care. I'll show you guys whatever I know. Yeah, so I've already pre-cut my mesh. I'm using orange for Jimmy O'Lantern. So Jimmy O'Lantern is the pumpkin. This is the easiest one. Hi, everybody. Hi, Barbara. This is the easiest character wreath we have. It's there's not much supplies that you do need, except some orange mesh, a few pieces of green, some zip ties. I'm going to add some deco tubing to him. I'm going to add a few pieces of raffia. Hi, Phyllis from Kentucky. We're not probably not gonna have a big crowd tonight because Scott's over on his page doing a live on Mrs. Innifield because he's so excited because he got his boards today. But that's okay. You guys get to see it from the master. I know, Janice. I told Scott I was going live, but I think with the whole time difference, he got screwed up. Yeah, because I think he's an hour behind me. So I think he was going to think we'll do it back to back. And yeah, it didn't work out like that. But that's okay. Like I said, you guys get to learn from the master. So I've already pre-cut my mesh. So I don't know if anybody's making it with me. But I did say to pre-cut your mesh into 10 or 9-inch pieces. And it's a 10-inch roll. I do 9-inch pieces because 9-inch pieces is just suffice. 10-inch pieces makes it really big, but it's kind of a waste of mesh. What's the matter, hon? Why you laugh?
Debbie says, hello, I just left Scott. Don't tell him.
Oh, I won't tell him. I'm prettier to look at, I think. Anyways, I cut, we need 38 pieces for the character wreath. So just to let you know, which means a full roll of 10-inch mesh makes 40 pieces of 9-inch pieces. So there is still a quarter of a roll left on here. So you can do this wreath with less than a 10-inch, less than a 10-inch roll. So don't throw this out because 3 of these will make another wreath, right? Or when we do our Mr. Gobble, we're going to need orange. So we're going to need some orange pieces. So save your quarter of a roll. Not that anybody throws mesh out. We can use it somewhere, can't we? Anyways, like I said, I pre-cut mine. I pre-cut some deco tubing. And this deco tubing is about, I would say, 24 inches long. I don't know. I just kind of measured. It's not even really even. But that's okay. You can't tell. And I cut some raffia pieces. And this is that fake raffia I absolutely love, so I don't get raffia all over the place. This is it looks like real raffia, but it's actually plastic. So you can just take it off the roll. I know if you buy the other stuff in the dollar store or whatever, which is really cheap, although this roll is really cheap, it gets everywhere. So I really like this stuff because then you can measure as much as you want and it's not all over your floor and all over your house and everything else. Hi, Mom. So I cut 8 pieces of that. So as you can see on my board, I have actually written on my board where I'm going to put everything. So let's see if I can face this down. So here I've written, I'm going to put in these 2 holes, I'm going to put 1 piece, and I'm going to put some tubing and raffia. So I'll remind myself as I'm going around the board. And this hole, I'm going to just put 2 pieces of deco mesh, tubing and raffia, tubing and raffia, double, double. And then I actually wrote on the bottom what I actually need. Actually, maybe it was on the other one. So you can actually write on the frame your pattern, because this will end up getting all covered with mesh. So this just reminds you of where to put what. So it's actually really, really, you don't have to think when you're doing this. So even I need 16 pieces for 2 pieces in this hole, and 8 and 8 for that. So 8 for the outer and 8 for these ones. Anyways, you'll see what I mean. I do have a board already Mod Podged. So, because I just wanted to jump ahead so you guys aren't sitting around watching paint dry, literally, or glue dry. So, and I also pre-cut and pre-ruffled a lot of my deco mesh, but I am going to show you how to do it. I just didn't want to keep you guys, so I want to keep it fast, and simple as possible. Okay, so of course I have my clothespins. I got some lights I'm going to put in here, and I'm going to show you guys how to put the lights in really easy. So the first thing I like to do is I like to make sure I put my hanger string in first. That way I'm not digging through my mesh to look for the holes to put the hangers in. So I just use a piece of twine and feed it through the 2 holes that are indicated. They're marked on the board on the other side. I don't know if I marked this side. No, I just grabbed a board right off fresh off the press. And then I just double knot it up top. Okay, and I'm just going to cut this. Now I don't have to worry about remembering to put my string on for hanging it, and I won't have to dig either. So I actually marked this hole, these 2 holes. So this hole to over the outside is where I'm going to put my green stems. Now this is going to be at the end of the wreath, and it's just 4 pieces of green deco mesh. So if you use a roll of green, if you get a roll of green, you can actually make 10 Jimmy-o-lantern stems with 1 roll of green mesh, right? Because there's 40 pieces in a roll. If you cut it 9 inches, and he only needs 4 pieces for his top, so that's 10 wreaths. Okay, so I've already cut out my image. So when you do, I get it done can those boards get wet? Yes, they can. The other side of the board is a melamine. I like the 2 different colored sides because this side we usually use for like the white deco mesh, so Santa and the snowman and everything will be on this side, and this side, oh, kids just got home. This side we use for pretty much every other color, so white, and I reuse this side, and any other color on this side, and this natural color side has some kind of like a film, almost a coating on it. I guess it's baked right in it. I use outdoor Mod Podge. Now, I don't have any outdoor Mod Podge right now, okay? I'm just starting the character wreaths, and it's coming. I have a whole bunch on order. So I'm just using what I have right now. But I also spray it, too. So if you're making this for a customer or something, either use outdoor Mod Podge, so it's for indoor-outdoor, and it does seal it, and use brush the outdoor Mod Podge on the whole thing. That way you're double sealing this side, okay? And you're not going to see the Mod Podge. It dries clear, but it will give it that extra coating. And if you're just using normal Mod Podge, which is, I just had this big, huge container, so that's why I'm using this. If you're using normal Mod Podge, just put your Mod Podge on, and then after it dries, you can seal it with the Krylon indoor-outdoor spray. I'm not sure where it is. I do have a can. Honey, can you run on that little bistro table in the kitchen? I believe there's like a Rust-Oleum one out there. I was using it earlier this afternoon. It's just an indoor-outdoor clear spray. But anyways, so if you're making it for somebody and you don't know where they're going to put it, if you don't seal it and you're just putting it on a front door, it's absolutely fine. Like, it will be fine. I have a rose. Is that it? Non-yellowing. Yes, there it is. So get yourself a coupon from Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or whatever, because they sell all this here. It is a clear, transparent, non-yellowing indoor outdoor spray, and it'll last you forever. So if you're not using outdoor Mod Podge, put your Mod Podge on, let it dry. So this one's already dry, and you can see there's already there is a coating that the Mod Podge already leaves. But if I didn't know where this was going, I would give it a quick spray and spray it outside. It's really stinky, or spray it somewhere where there's you can air it out, and then let it dry. It dries pretty fast, but there's all different kinds of outdoor, indoor spray. You can get it at Home Depot, anywhere. I buy mine at Michael's with a 50% off coupon usually.
You usually generally use both, right? The Mod Podge and the...
I use both right now only because I'm trying to get rid of my normal Mod Podge. Once I start using the outdoor Mod Podge, there's no need to do both. But if you're very like a worrisome person, just do both. Do the outdoor Mod Podge and then give it a quick spray, and then you're for sure good. And it's not more of the board that I'm worried about, it's more of the face, because the face is just paper, right? But we put that sealant on there, and it seals it right to the board, and we don't want it to fade or anything. But I do have a rose that's been outside hanging on my gate for since January. It's been through every kind of inclement weather we've had, like almost tornado winds, ice storm, everything, and it is still fine. Actually, I should take a picture because it's been 6 months now that it's been hanging out there. The mesh is a bit faded. It's not as bright yellow as it used to be, but the board is fine. So
all the characters are on the site.
Yeah, all the characters, and now I do have a lot more, but I'm gonna just roll them out a little bit at a time because I don't want to overwhelm everybody. But yes, the main characters are on. For Halloween, we got Jimmy O'Lantern, the Witch, Priscilla Spiderbottom, the Scarecrow. I did the Scarecrow the other day and showed you guys how to make a really easy Scarecrow hat out of Olifun. So have a look at that. They're all in the video section. There is a free tutorial if you need back, or you can watch it as well, of how to make our character boards. The digital images do come with instructions on how to use them. I have posted on my Facebook page how to send them to Office Max or Office Depot. And Staples is pretty much the same. You just may have to click more. I did take pictures of doing it on Staples. I just haven't had time to put it on the website yet. But it is very, very easy. Now, if you do it in store, it does cost a little more than if you send it online. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
Nobody's looking for like complete kits.
No, I don't have any complete kits, Judy. Sorry. I really don't want to get into selling all kinds of mesh and all that stuff. I just don't have the room. I am hopefully partnering with a couple places that do carry the mesh and everything, so you can eventually get all your stuff in one place. So that is my hopes. For the flower wreath, it was a little different, you know, doing the flower wreath as a kit because it's just deco mesh. For these, it's there's a lot of other steps you have to go into, and I just really didn't want to be supplying all the supplies, especially and you know, supplying the wreath frames. So I'm keeping it simple, but to get your stuff is really easy. I think I got a pack of this at the dollar store of the deco tubing. You can buy it at Craft Outlet or wherever you buy your mesh. I bought the roll of raffia at Paper Mart, but you can buy natural raffia at the dollar store. And you know, everybody has their own preferences of where they buy their deco mesh.
That's what the boards are made of. They're made of melamite.
It's a melamite hardboard. On one side is it's like a melamine, so it's a coating, and the other it's just a hardboard with there's a coating on one side and a melamine on the other side.
And the faces are on the website.
Yeah, the faces are on the website. They're not painted. I didn't hand paint them. They are, I did digitally make all the faces myself though. So the problem I was having is trying to order, you know, sign people to ship their faces and waiting for people to paint them. And I thought, well, when I'm teaching a class, I don't want to have to order 20 signs or 20 faces and wait for somebody to paint them for me. So I thought, well, I have the board. If I take the holes out of the center of the flower board, I can digitally make my centers, send it over to Staples, get 20 of them printed for, you know, under $20, and the people can just Mod Podge them on themselves. Then you have a perfect sign, and it's right on the frame, and you still have the nice, neat center.
You don't have lights on the website, do you?
No, I don't have lights yet. I did dig some out of the storage unit, so I think I have about 100 sets I might put on the website. I was just going through them. You guys got to bear with us because we've only been doing this. We're selling the stuff board for just a little over 2 months. So although I've been doing it for a long time, it actually hasn't been for sale since for like 2 months now, so, or just a little over 2 months. So we're just getting our feet wet, and the demand lately is you guys are really loving this, and I'm glad you're loving this, because I was just sitting on this watching some of these wreathing things thinking, oh my god, if they only knew there was an easier way. But you know, when you're doing something like this, you really have to protect yourself, because there are people that will you know, we'll take your ideas and go with it, and it doesn't even matter, you know, if they spent thousands and thousands of dollars. So before I could do anything, I had to make sure all in a row. So yeah.
And Phyllis, yeah, the videos do get posted.
Yep.
They're up there all the time.
Yep. There is a video for the character board up on the website, so you can click on it anytime you want. All the character faces are on our website. Now the character faces, once you buy it, it's yours. You can print as many as you want. The only thing I ask is just don't share it. You know, it's only $4. It's you know, I spent a lot of time designing these. I know $4 is $4, but I know my time has to be worth something. So, and you wouldn't believe how long it took me to make these. So I put a lot of Mod Podge on. So this face is going to go just outside these holes. Now, if you wanted to be really keen, you can do the whole thing with Mod Podge. It dries really fast, and it just gives it another protectant. You don't have to, but if you make it a practice, then you always remember that it is really well sealed. Now, with your face, you want to make sure your face is going to go in the middle of the 2 hanging holes, because this right here is your exact center of the board. So for Mr. Jimmy O'Lantern, see the stem here? I just kind of line up the stem, and you can move it until you burnish it on. So I just line up the stem with the center hole there. And it doesn't have to be perfect. He's a little bit bigger than the 10.5 inch, only because he's from last year's batch. Now, before I burnish it on, I like to just put a little bit of Mod Podge on the top. And the reason I do this for right now is because it helps you with the sliding. Now, this procedure is called burnishing. So it helps you with the burnishing and your card sliding on your face. Okay. Now I have this Mod Podge actual rubber thingy. You can use anything. So like when I teach classes, I give everybody a Lowe's card. I got them donated from Lowe's, a friend of mine that works there. So she gave me a whole bunch. So if you go ask, you know, different stores, they'll donate you some. But I like the rubber one. And this is like almost dry already. So it doesn't take very long at all. Now, for the outdoor, for when you're going to do the when you're going to do the outdoor Mod Podge, you're going to want to put another coat on top of him. Okay, so pretend this is the outdoor. You're just going to put a thin, thin coat, and this is just to seal him right on to the board. Now, if you're using the Mod Podge that I'm using, you could now then just spray, take it outside or somewhere where it's well ventilated, and just give it a nice good spray of the Krylon indoor-outdoor thing. Once it's dry, and it's warm outside, it dries really fast. Once it's dried, then you're good to go. Okay? So that is it for putting the faces on, putting the signs on. I did put a couple of signs on the website, signs meaning like the magic of Christmas and stuff like that. I do have a lot more that I have. I'm just, like I said, I'm not going to put them all on. I don't want to bombard you guys with too much. And it is only June. I know Christmas in July.
Tina, the board is 15.5 inches.
Yeah, the board's 15.5 inches. So depending how big you make your ruffles or your tubes, or like, there's so many ways you can use this board, and I'll show you a few little things just on Jimmy O'Lantern that you can do. But I'm just going to put him to the side because I have pre-done one, so you guys didn't have to wait around for him to dry.
And Kimberly, it's not a sticker, it's Mod Podge.
It's not a sticker, it's Mod Podge. It's just a paper. I print them on 32-ounce paper. You can do it on cardstock. It's cheaper on paper than cardstock, but depending where you're getting it from, there's different variations of paper. I think Office Max is like 24 pound and 32 pound. Go for the higher pound if they offer it. So this at Staples is 28 pound. So somebody said to me today that they could only get 32 pound. I think it was at Office Depot, and that's fine. So anyways, this one is already dried. You can see the shininess of the Mod Podge. Okay, so we're ready to go with him. Now he was a little bit bigger than the inside. Again, this is a face I had last year, and I did it a little bit bigger last year because I wasn't really selling them. So this year I actually did it so they fit right in the inner circle here. Okay, so it went over a little bit of the holes, so I'm just going to poke the holes because you don't see any of that. The only thing, once we're done, the only thing you really see is about this far in. So from the middle to about here is what you see. Oh, I think I scratched them. Oh, it's a hair. Make sure you don't get Mod Podge on your hair, or hair in your Mod Podge. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to put some lights into this. Now, putting the lights in our frame is really, really easy because we use zip ties. They actually get zip tied in while we're doing where did my tape go? Okay, you guys, I tried really, really hard to be organized, and I think I lost my Scotch tape. So first thing I'm going to do, before I put these lights on my frame, I'm going to make sure they work. Okay, yay! So there's nothing worse than putting your lights on your frame to find out. You get all the way to the end, you go to turn it on, and they don't work, and you have to redo it all. Been there, done that, so I'm just forewarning you. So yes, they work. Now these lights I'm using are actually on a timer. So once you turn them on, so usually I tell people to turn them on around 6 o'clock, and then just leave it. They stay on for 6 hours, and then they shut themselves off. So they'll shut themselves off at midnight, and then they turn back on the next day at 6 o'clock, and then again shut themselves off at midnight. So these are really, really great to have. I have not found them in the States anywhere. I bought these we have a dollar store over here in Canada called Dollarama, and it's quite different than Dollar Tree. And I can purchase them at Dollarama for $3. Now, the only problem is they usually only have them around Christmas time. So I will be scoping every single Dollarama to get us some of these. I did order some from China, and it said they were timered and all this stuff. So I ordered like 200 sets come to find out when it did come, they weren't timered. And when I tried to get a hold of somebody, you know, at the company in China, they had no idea what I was talking about. It's like, well, you posted that it was timered lights, and they're not timered, so they're useless to me. But they really didn't care. So is my Scotch tape over there? Where did it go? I know I had it over there. Oh, here it is. Guess I wasn't as organized as I thought I was. Sorry, guys. Anyways, you just need some Scotch tape. Okay, and we're going to tape these in. Now, keep in mind, they are going to be zip tied in as we're making the wreath.
Are you using dollar store mesh for your wreath?
No. I've tried dollar store mesh. Don't waste your money. It frays. It's kind of like Michael's Hobby Lobby. You know, you get what you pay for, right? I would never use, I especially would not sell a wreath with dollar store mesh. Just my personal opinion, because it will end up just disintegrating probably in the sun. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't know what everybody else does. But yeah, it will fray. I have used it just to try it out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put these lights around our frame first. Oh, this one I didn't put a string in, but that's okay. So what you're going to do is just get some Scotch tape. Okay, and I just start at the bottom of here. So eventually this battery pack is going to be hot glued to the back of the frame. And you want to make sure that when you do hot glue it, that you hot glue the side where it is not going to open. Oops.
Is it the Taiwan mesh that's no good?
Yeah, I don't like the Taiwan mesh. Yeah, Taiwan mesh, don't waste your money because it just frays, it's thin. It's horrible. Anyways, when we do go to hot glue the battery pack, make sure that you're not hot gluing the side that the cover opens so people can change their batteries.
How many lights in that set?
This is 20 lights. You don't have to use battery operated lights. Like you can get on Amazon and stuff, you can get the little rice lights. You can get them really cheap. The only problem is if they don't have a timer, who's really got time to remember to shut the wreath off? That's why I really, really like these ones. And I promise, once they are out, I am going to scope every single dollarama around us and put them on the website. I think right now I have, like I said, I have maybe about 100 sets. So what I'm doing is I'm just taping my lights. Now, should I face them inwards or outwards? Maybe I'll face them inwards so the light shines on Jimmy's face. So now you could either go all the way around the outside of the wreath frame, or I like to just have the wire going kind of in the middle, like so. Now you could put, once the mesh is on, you can't really, it just lights up. You can't really see, like if your lights aren't perfectly spaced or anything. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But maybe if we do lights in between every hole, let's see, because you will have extra lights and I usually put them right at the bottom. Yeah, this seems to work out nicely. So what I'm doing is I'm just in between each hole. So I don't know. You guys
try the tape dispenser to go in your wrist.
I'm too cheap for that. I use dollar store tape. But you guys, like I said, I am not claiming to be the most fantastic wreather. You guys are blowing my mind with some of the stuff you're making. I just had a good idea. But I have fun trying. Like my horse, I love my horse. What do you guys think of my horse? Not bad for like the first time. You know, I could see it in my head when I was designing the frame, and I've been designing the horse frame for a long time. And I kind of did a live today because I was showing everybody what I bought. And so I did show the horse.
Not cheap, frugal.
Frugal. Yes, I'm the frugal wreather. I really am. And you know why I'm frugal? I'm frugal.
Lottie, the lights are going to come through the holes because they're going to get zip tied.
They're going to get zip tied in, Lottie. So I'm going to be zip tying them there.
Can you get the board in Ontario, Canada?
Yeah, I'm in Ontario, Canada. But we do have a partnership over in Niagara Falls, New York as well. So that's why you guys get your stuff so fast.
I love the tattoo. I'm a math teacher, yeah, but the tattoo has a medical.
Well, there's a story about my tattoo, and I have shared my story on my page, so if you feel free to read it. I have been through a lot, and I'm one of those cases where I decided to make lemonade out of the lemons I was given in life. So this tattoo reminds me to always keep going. You know, there's a lot of struggles, and you know, everybody's got a story, and it depends how you choose how to what path you take on how your story ends. So I have some major health issues, and you know, I had a really, really great career at a university that I was at for 25, almost 30 years, and that got kiboshed really, really fast. And, you know, I had to reinvent myself. And I've always been a crafter, and I started making wreaths, started teaching wreathing, burlap wreathing, and everybody wanted deco mesh wreathing, and then I couldn't teach deco mesh wreathing because that dang wire frame is like so impossible to teach people. So I was on a mission to make my own frame that could be teachable and easy to use and less supplies, and there's all kinds of criteria I had. And once I checked off every piece of criteria that was on my list, I knew my wreath frame was ready to go and be tested. So it has been tested many, many times. Like I said, I've been doing it for almost 3 years now. It hasn't been in the United States for 3 years, only 2.5 months, but it's been tried, tested, and everything. Okay, so our lights are on. Let's make sure they work still. Yay! Okay, so we're done with the lights. Next we're gonna do, and I can still see my pattern that I'm gonna do here. There is 8 outer holes. So every other hole you'll see has a set of 3. Okay, this set of 3, I'm going to put 1 piece of orange mesh on the outside. Now this, when you do this step, it makes the wreath really big, okay, which I really love. And it frames his face beautifully. You don't have to do this step, but I recommend you do it because it does make a much, much prettier wreath and a really big wreath. Like the wreath looks like, you know, when this wreath is done, people think you spent so much time on it and so much supplies and everything, but don't tell anybody, okay? Okay, so I'm just gonna put this aside for a sec, and I'm gonna show you how I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to use the ruffle method on him. I like the ruffle method on my character wreaths. It almost looks like, you know, it frames the face so nicely, especially with Santa and the snowman. It just kind of looks like hair and everything. But there's many, many ways you can put your mesh on. And I'm not saying this way is the best, but it's my preferred way. So once you guys start playing around and get your hands on this, just like the flower wreaths, you guys are going to come up with some amazing stuff. I know it. So like I said, I'm not claiming to be the best wreather, the most, you know, talented or anything, but you guys will play around. Now, I'm not doing it like, I'm not going to do my wreath like this, but everybody knows the tube method, right? So you could do the tube method where you just roll it up. So this is a 9-inch piece with a 10-inch roll, twist it, and you can, well, I would do two pieces, and you can twist it and zip tie it right in, Okay, so you can do it like that if you want. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do the stem. So if you want
9-inch mesh.
9-inch. Yes, I cut mine at 9 inches. You can cut it at 10 inches, but I just find that 1 inch, you know, 3 of these quarter rolls that are left over makes another wreath. So that 1 inch eventually down the road does count. See how frugal I am. So don't throw out your quarter rolls. Plus, I will probably use this orange for Tom the Turkey when I do them, because he only needs a quarter roll of 4 different colors. So I think I use like brown, orange, gold, and burgundy for his feathers. So, and I need a quarter roll. So there's my quarter roll. Anyways, but I'm going to use the ruffle method. I really like the ruffle method with my character wreaths. And to do that, you get your 9-inch piece and your cut ends. So where you've cut it is going to go on the top and the bottom. Your serged edges. So this is the serged edges. So they're already finished. And what you're going to do is you're just going to scrunch with your thumb and your forefingers, your pointer, and you're just going to go up the middle, just bringing it to the center. And it makes a bow tie. Okay? Really, really simple. I use clothespins for everything. So it's funny because I make all my wreaths on my lap, and I'm only doing it at the table because A, my camera and computer were here, and B, I was Mod Podging, showing you guys how to Mod Podge. But usually I pre-make all my ruffles, and you can see, I'll just spin it over there. This chair has all my double ruffles, and this chair has my single ruffles. So I usually throw all the ruffles with clothespins on them right beside me. So I make them all ahead of time. And that way, because I'm watching TV and I'm watching a movie already, and so I just sit and zip them in as I'm going along. And that's why I really like to write on my board, because I don't pay attention when I'm wreathing. I really don't. I do watch TV a lot when I'm doing this. So when I look down, I really don't even have to think. I've pretty much taken the guessing out of everything. So when I look down, I know this 2 holes right here. These 2 holes are I want a piece of tubing and I want a piece of raffia in it. So I really don't even have to think while I'm doing this. And you can really plan your supplies, especially if you're doing a workshop. You can really plan out exactly what you need. So let's start down here. So I am going to start on the outer hole. Now, when I put my zip ties in, you're always going to go in from the bottom. Okay. And when I put my zip ties in, I always feel the head of the zip tie. Now, the head of the zip tie, I don't know how good my camera is going to focus here. My phone out of the camera? Why? It's focusing on it? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So the head of the zip tie kind of has like a concave part and a flat edge. That flat edge is the side we want facing up towards the ceiling. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. But when you put the end of your zip tie through the flat edge, you'll hear that zipping sound, and it's not going to unlock. Okay? If you should try and do it backwards, which is really, really hard to do. So if you're struggling, now when I've done so many of these, I don't even have to look at the zip tie. Like literally, people, I don't look down from the TV very often when I'm doing these. But if I'm struggling and I can't get for some reason I can't get the end of the zip tie in the head, I definitely look down, because I know my zip tie is probably backwards. So it needs the tail of the zip tie needs to go in the flat part of the head and hear that zipping sound. Okay. Now, I always go in, so when I put my zip tie in, it's from the back, and I always go in the hole closest to the center. Now, if you keep this in mind all the time, and keep it a good rule of thumb, you'll never screw up your zip ties, A, and B, when you're finished your wreath, all your zip tie heads will all be facing the same way, and the zip tie heads fit right into the holes. So your back of your wreath is completely flat. And then you cut your zip tie ends off, and it's a beautiful back. You don't even have to cover it up. There's nothing to, there's no mess or anything. So my rule of thumb, to always make sure my heads are always going to be facing the same way, and that that I'm not wasting time, because time is money, not wasting time fooling around with zip ties. When I do put my zip tie in, I do remember to feel with my thumb that that flat head is facing the ceiling. If I can feel that head, the flat part facing the ceiling, I know the zip tie is in right. And then I'm just going to put it down. Okay. Now this hole requires 2. So 2 pieces of mesh. Now a lot of people will show you that you can just take 2 pieces of mesh. Excuse me, Jimmy, I'm going to set you aside. Now I want 2 pieces of mesh in that hole. Now you can, if you want, just have one on top of the other and scrunch it up. But I find this makes it really bulky, and it doesn't give it any texture or anything. So when I do my 2 pieces, I do 2 on top of each other, and I'll show you what I mean. So I always do 1 piece. So then I'll just clip it in, and then I'll grab another piece. And I'm going to put that piece on top of this. And I kind of do it not right on top of each other, but kind of almost kitty corner. So it gives it a bit of texture when you do put it in. So you can see all different kinds of ruffles. Okay, you'll be able to tell when I'm talking, when I'm putting it in. Now you can use, now I do 9-inch pieces. You can use a long piece of 18-inch mesh if you want, and scrunch the whole 18-inch piece up and put that in the middle. But I don't know, I just have a habit of doing this. You guys will find your own technique that you like. And once you like it, go with it, because you want to enjoy yourself. You don't want to be fooling around. You want your wreath to look really nice, and you'll find out your own niche once you get going and playing with these. So that's just the way I like to do them. I do them on top of each other. Now I'm going to take the middle of this ruffle bow tie type thing. Now we all know that deco mesh has a natural curl, right? When I'm doing my ruffles in, I always make sure that the curl is going downwards. Okay, now you could probably see what I mean. See how the shape of it is going towards the board. If you do it like this and put the ruffle where it's facing up, you're going to see the cut edges and stuff. And we don't want to see any of that nastiness, because I just zip across with electric scissors, right? So I know I'm going to have a bunch of frays and stuff, so I don't want to see any of that mess. So if you make sure you face your ruffles with the curl going downwards, you won't see any of that. Okay, so what I've done, so I've got 2 pieces. I put it right in the middle of the 2 holes, okay, just in the center, and I'm going to take the end of my zip tie and going over the mesh, and I'm going to go down through the corresponding hole. Let's see if I can get this closer for you guys without going autofocus. So I'm going down through the corresponding hole, okay? Now my zip tie is in the middle. You're going to flip it over, and you're going to zip it in. Now you zip it till your head hits the frame, and once it hits the frame is when you pull down, and then you tighten it and pop it in the hole. If you try and tighten it while it's at the board and then try and pull it down to the hole, you'll find out really fast that it's really hard to do. So it's much easier to pop it in the hole and pull it tight at the same time. It pretty much pops in the hole by itself. And then you can snip it off. I usually don't use my scissors. I have little wire cutters I use for my zip tie ends, but I don't know where they are right now. Anyways, okay, so that's our first one. So I'm just going to take a clothespin, and I'm just going to kind of pin these to the side so I can see my next set of holes here. Now I want to make sure my lights are going to be wired in, so I'm going to put that wire right in there. So for the next holes, I'm going to use 1 piece of deco mesh. And you only need 1 because I am going to add some tubing, and I'm going to add some raffia to this piece. So I got oops, wrong one. I just need one piece. So here's my one. So I'm going to put that one piece in the middle, and I'm going to go over top, down, through the corresponding hole. Now there is that third hole. That third hole is going to be used at the end, so we're going to make the wreath a little bit bigger. I'm going to go down. Now I'm not going to tighten this one. I'm just going to kind of zip it till I hear the zip, okay, and about a finger space in between that you're going to leave in the zip tie, because I'm going to feed. Now here is where you can feed ribbon, you can feed whatever you want through the zip tie. Okay, but I'm going to make, I'm going to put some of this deco tubing in. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to make a bow tie and put it in. How did I do this? Oops. Now you could feed it in and just cut this and have all kinds of little finger things coming out. I'm going to do a bow tie. So I just do like this. You guys probably know better way. But so I just kind of, there we go. So you can see the three pieces are all the same length, and it's just kind of like a S-shaped. Well, it looks like a backwards S shape to me, but so once you got that, I'm just going to feed that through to about the middle. Okay, see how it's all opened in there? And I want to add a piece of raffia. So I'm just going to take one little piece. Doesn't this look like real raffia? Even splits and everything like real raffia, but I just love, and you guys will know, you'll only buy raffia, natural raffia once, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But this is on a roll, and you can measure how much you want. I think I measured, yeah, just the size of my cutting mat, which is like 18 inches. But I'm going to fold this in half, okay, and then I'm going to feed it through. And it's going to go about halfway. I'm going to snip it because I'm going to have 4 pieces now. Okay, I have all my stuff in there, and now I'm just going to zip my zip tie nice and tight. Well, not too tight, because I'm going to flip it over, and that's at the board, and then I'm going to pull it down and pop it in the hole. So you see how I mean about the zip tie heads? If you always go through the closest hole to the center, all the zip tie heads will face the same way.
What size is that piece? I don't know what piece we're talking about.
What piece, honey? Laverne, what piece are you talking about? Yeah, raffia's messy. That's why I use, and this roll will last me forever. I think it was maybe $2 or $3, maybe $4, but there is a lot on it. It's from Paper Mart. It's called a 1/4 inch. There it is right there. Matte raffia. And it's like a plastic.
What is the string kind of? Oh.
Oh, it's raffia, hun. Raffia, and I just did it about 18 inches. It's just like a natural, you know, all fall stuff uses raffia. It's almost like a straw, right? Anyways, okay. So these I can fix later on. But I am going to add another piece of deco mesh right here. So you see that space there? So, but this time I'm going to, now you can add 3 pieces if you want. If you want your wreath to be really full, you can come up through this shared.
The orange stuff, the deco tubing.
Oh, the deco tubing. I think I did it at like 36 inches and just made that bow thing.
No, she's wondering what it is.
Oh, it's deco tubing. That's what it's called, deco flex tubing or something like that. Now, if you want, you can add different colors. So you can use the shared hole right here that I'm pointing at and put a piece of deco mesh in between here. So you'd come over with your zip tie and go through here. So you could put, I don't know, another color if you wanted. And then you can use this hole right here and then come over and use the edge. Now that's what I'm going to do because I want my wreath to look really full. So I am going to use just another piece of deco mesh. And this time I'm going to take my bow type thing. Sorry, I forgot I moved this down. Move it up a bit. Okay. Now I'm going to take my bow type thing and I'm going to put it in between this hole and the edge of the board. And I'm going to kind of face it outwards. So see how my ruffle is coming outwards? And I'm going to come zip it, make sure it's even, and I'm going to come around the edge. You'll see in a sec. See how I've done around the edge, and I'm going to pull it and pop in the hole. Okay. Now, once we start adding all kinds of mesh, this all gets squished up. But I want this piece. Maybe I did something wrong here. There we go. Because this is all going to get squished, so you won't see any of that board. Because there's quite a few holes in here that we have to fill. So this outer piece, I like to face outwards, so it makes a bigger looking wreath. So I'm just going to clip this to the side. And this one I have 2 holes. I'm just going to move this wire down a bit because I want to make sure all of them don't have to be zipped in, but you want a few make sure a few of your lights are zipped into the holes. That way they're secure there. So I'm just taking my 2 pieces, going over the top, down through the corresponding hole. You kind of want to make sure it's even on both sides. Zip it and then flip it over. Once you do these a few times, you don't have to flip it over. You can actually pull and zip at the same time. And this is why I like to use 2 separate pieces, because now you can move around and make a little more texture with your ruffles. Okay, you got that piece, flip it over. So this piece, we're going to do 1, and we're going to do the tubing again and a piece of raffia.
Where can you get your tubing from?
I got this package at the dollar store.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen it at Hobby Lobby?
Yeah, they sell them at Hobby Lobby, Craft Out. Every place sells it. This is just cheap stuff. I got really, really, really big ones today at, where did I order it from? The Wreath shop, I think. I ordered from everywhere. I like to play with different things. So if you've seen my Facebook Live today, I got all kinds of different things and new stuff that's on the market. Now this one I'm not doing it completely tight because I'm going to put a piece of tubing. So my tubing, I'm just making kind of like a bow thing. And to make that, all you have to do is make sure all 3 pieces are equal and almost like in an S form. And then feed. It'll be the cut piece and a folded piece. Feed that through your zip tie. Making sure kind of it's in the middle. And then I'm going to put a piece of raffia. And I'm going to feed that through the middle as well. Okay, we're in there good. I'm going to zip it now. Zip it tight. Pop it in the hole. And I'm going to cut this piece of raffia. So we have 4 pieces. Now I'm going to put a piece on the outside here. Now I don't think I'm going to do this whole wreath because you guys can see how really easy it is. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to stop at the top and I'm going to show you how to put the green stems into the top of Jimmy O'Lantern, because after the green, the whole rest of the wreath is basically like this. So that's how easy it is. And the end result is so cute. Like, people would never guess how easy it really is to make. Especially if you're like selling it in a craft show or something. They would have no clue. And they would think you were like this wreathing genius. Now, we were toying with the idea. I know we stamp our logo on the back of the board. My idea was, I think we should not stamp the board. I think we should leave it blank because, yes, the frame is our frame, but when the wreath is done, it's actually your wreath. So I think, this is my opinion, and other people beg to differ. Other people in the company beg to differ. I think we should leave it blank and have everybody be able to put their own stamp on it of their logo, because you technically made the wreath. or even a sticker. You can order little round stickers from Vistaprint, and it's really cheap. I used to do that before I had my stamp made, and you can put your logo and your website and everything on this little sticker and put it on the back of your wreath. That way people know, you know, when somebody comes to their door and says, oh my goodness, where did you get that wreath? The person that bought your wreath can flip your wreath board over and say, oh, this lady right here, contact her Facebook page.
Yo.
What do you guys think?
You're the design department. I'm manufacturing.
You guys, I think I'm going to do a poll because I think it's a good idea. Business-wise, the other side doesn't think it's a good idea, but technically, yes, the board is ours, but nobody cares because they just care about the finished product.
What if you got a stamp that you can create made by, and then they could put theirs underneath?
As long as the person buying the wreath frame knows where they got it from, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, see, they can still do that even with your logo.
I don't know.
Yes, Linda, I agree with you.
But it's the wreath makers that are buying the frames, not the actual people buying the finished wreath. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to take a poll. We are at sorts on this one. I think too, for us, it saves us time because we have to stamp each and every board. So that's time too, and we're getting really, really busy. But I really think, like, if I was buying these and I had my own stamp or sticker or made by or somewhere to contact the actual person that made the wreath.
Actually, Margie, no one can copy it anyway. It's a patent.
Yeah, nobody can copy it anyways, Margie. There is patents galore on it. There's utility patents. There's design patents. So if anybody even tried to, they would get slapped by our lawyers. So
your logo deserves to be on there, and makers can put on their business cards. There you go. I agree, Margie.
Yeah.
I agree, Candy.
Dave agrees with you guys. Uh-oh. Honey, can you grab my battery charger
Oh, no.
for my computer?
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize, with all these things plugged into my computer, I didn't even realize that my charger wasn't plugged in.
Where's the charger? It's
there. Okay, so we're tubing. So we're at an impasse at Unique in the Creek about that. So if you get your wreath frames and they don't have a stamp on it, that means I won. That's not my thing. It's the other one. Hold on, guys. I don't want to die. Oh my God. Oh, it's got tape on it. That's my old one. Right there. Jeez. Can't find good help these days. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Don't die. Ah, there we go.
The wife is always right.
I know. It's not only us we have to confer with. There's other people as well, but I'm the big wig.
It's like buying a wire frame, putting a business card on the finished piece. Who cares?
Yeah, but on the wireframe, you can't really do that. Well, you can hook one on, but people are going to rip it off, right? If they put a sticker on the back of ours, they're not going to peel that sticker off. So, I don't know. Something to think about. Okay.
Well, there's an idea. Your logo should stay on the frame. A sticker could be put over it if someone wanted to.
Yeah, that's true too. I'm looking at it from time-wise as well, because it does take us a bit of time to stamp every single one of these boards. Now, we are also...
One to show us. Yeah, this one.
We are also getting into Christmas. Now, usually we stamp our logo on the white side, because right now, pretty much everybody uses the natural color side. Come Christmas, when you're using white deco mesh, or ivory, like for a poinsettia, they're going to use the white side.
Mary's still going to receive their boards.
Well, probably got tracking number. They're all coming out. We did get a huge slam with orders. So, but we're not too behind. I think we're 2 days out. So, unfortunately, we're not Amazon, but we do get them out pretty fast. And this, I think this batch was waiting a little bit because wasn't there a problem with one of the belts or something on the machine.
I had a machine problem.
Yeah.
Sorry. Manufacturing problem.
Manufacturing problem. Yeah, we have our own machine now too, and we also have 2 other manufacturers that make our boards for us as well. So we do have quite a few boards going out every day, so they're coming, I promise. Okay, we're at the top now, so we're right center. So this is where I'm going to put, I'm going to show you how to do the green stems for the top of Jimmy O'Lanter's head, okay? Now I didn't put, these 2 holes right here are for hanging holes, and I put it in my demo board of Mod Podge, so I'm just going to throw a piece of raffia in there. Because it is plastic, it'll hang. I end up donating all my Facebook Live wreaths. I end up donating anyways to retirement homes and stuff, so I'll change this piece of raffia out for a piece of twine after. Okay.
Over the 3-hole line, I missed that.
Yes, what I did is I went right over the edge. If you can see that. Now you can put another piece in here if you want it even fuller. So you can actually put 3 pieces of mesh there if you want. I don't see the need for it. It's kind of a waste of mesh, but if you wanted to add a different color in there just to give it some, you know, some vavoom, that's up to you.
Yes, Summer. The Christmas one, the Santa face would go over top of the stamp anyway.
Yeah, it would go over top of the stamp, but see, that's another thing. So why bother putting, we would probably, any of the Christmas ones, we'd probably put on the natural side. But it is a black stamp, so.
And Cheryl, yes, smaller boards will be coming out.
Yeah, we have smaller boards. We have so much coming out. We have a Christmas tree coming out. You guys just seen the horse. The horse heads, well, the horse heads, let me tell you, they're awesome. I have a few tweaks to do on it, and then I'm going to shoot the tutorial because when you do order a horse head, you will get the tutorial. Now you'll get the tutorial of how I'm making it with burlap. But you can use any material you want. So now the horse heads, they're 22 inches tall by 16 inches wide. So luckily we did it like that on purpose because it still fits in our mailing bags. So, because once you start shipping it in a box, that's a whole other ball game for shipping. It increases your shipping rates really high, and we didn't want to do that because people are ordering, you know, 20, 30 boards at a time. So we wanted to make sure it could fit in our bags still and still keep low in the shipping area, but it's not too big to fit in a 22 by 22 inch box for when it's finished. You guys know what I mean? Now our wreaths are, they're not layered like the wire wreaths. And again, the reason why I did that is for shipping purposes. I know a lot of you that make wreaths, you make these big, huge wreaths, some of you, okay? Here in Canada, we have double doors. Now, most people have 2 doors, a glass door and the storm door. So when you're making these ginormous wreaths, they can't be too thick because they have to fit in between 2 doors. And when people are ordering wreaths, you don't know if they have 2 doors. So I wanted to make sure that any wreath that was made with our system would fit between 2 doors. So that was a criteria when I was designing. And another criteria was, will it fit in a 4-inch high box? So any of you that ship finished wreaths will know what I'm talking about. This wreath is not higher than 4 inches. So once you go up to 6 and 8 inches on the height of the box, you're then kicking your shipping up another level. So when I was designing it, I wanted to make sure, A, that it would fit between 2 doors, and B, that you could ship it cheaper when it's a finished wreath. So yeah, I was thinking of all these things when I was making this. So, because I did sell wreaths prior to teaching wreath classes and stuff. And one reason I stopped selling wreaths was because of the shipping. Because it's atrocious. It's just, and it is what it is. It's shipping is shipping, and you can't get any way around it. So, just be rest assured that And this wreath will fit in, if you finished this wreath and sold it, it would fit in an 18 by 18 box, 4 inches high, no problem. So there, your shipping rate just went down right there using an 18-inch box.
And if somebody made that, well, how much do you think they could sell it?
Well, when I was making these and selling them, I sold it for about $40. And I could have sold it probably for more. And if you can tell, it doesn't cost $40 at all, not even close to make. So, and I enjoy making them. So, and like I said, I wreath while I watch TV. So it was just something to do, almost like knitting. Except with it a better profit margin. So I can make one of these wreaths in less than an hour.
What size box was that again?
18 by 18. 4 inches. Okay, so I'm going to zip one piece into this hole right here. Okay, that's in between the 2 hanging holes. And from here to the outside of the board is where I'm going to put my green stems. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that right now. So I just zipped one piece into this hole. So I'm just going to set him aside for a second. And I'm going to show you how to make his stems. I need a bigger table. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of just lime green or apple green, 9 inches long, but the 10 inches. So again, 1 roll of green mesh will make 10 Jimmy-O-Lantern pieces or stems. So all I'm going to do is roll in the tube method, okay, just like that, nice and tight, so we got some nice green. And I'm going to clip it in the middle. Okay, I'm going to do this for the other one. Lady, get out of there. Lady's mad because she's usually in my crafting and she's down below my feet here wanting to know why she's not in the camera. So I am going to clip that one in. You guys can see where I'm going with this, right? Pretty easy. Okay, I'm going to roll this one. Clip it in. Probably should have grabbed a bigger clothespin. And I'm going to do this one. Okay. I'm going to grab some raffia because I'm going to put some raffia in the stem too. I'm just going to grab 2 pieces. So they're just the size of my cutting mat, which is 18 inches.
Yes, Barbara, the lady's back to normal.
Yeah, she's feeling much, much better. She's done all her antibiotics. So she is doing so well. Okay, so what I'm doing with this tube, I got my tube that I rolled. I'm just going to give it a twist so it kind of faces and makes a U shape. And again, I'm going to take one of my clothespins and I'm just going to pin it, hold it tight in the middle. Okay, I'm going to take another one. That's what happens when you let it go. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to give it one twist. And I'm going to put it in the middle, but crisscrossed over top of the other one. Crisscross applesauce. Now you could get away with just 3 tubes. Put this in. See, that's 3 tubes right there. That probably would have been suffice, but I have another one here, so I'm going to cut it or twist it. So I'm just giving it 1/2 twist, and I'm going to stick it in without letting everything go. That's why I use the clothespins. There we go. Okay, that pinched all in here. Now this is.
Have the horse head ready.
I'm not sure. We are catching up on orders, and once we are caught up totally on orders, then Dave is going to be, we're not having any of the other manufacturers do the horse head, just us, because it is quite time consuming, and if they were to do the horse head, they would charge us a fortune, and we don't want to sell it to you guys. That costs a lot of money, so we're going to be producing them ourselves. So that's why I kind of said it's going to be a first come, first serve. So once you order it, we're going to go down the list and ship out as, you know, you guys have ordered it. So first come, first serve sort of thing.
But everybody will get one.
Yeah, everybody will get one. It's just, I can't promise you it's going to be like the next day or anything. So that was the only way we could do it. Just because it is so large, it does take a lot of time.
You're in your quirky little thing.
What did I do?
Christy, I bought a big bag of pins after I saw you.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe clothespins are the best. Okay, so what I've done, I have my whole clump of everything in my fingers. Now, my hands are getting a little sore doing this, and then I put some raffia in there. Now I'm going to get a zip tie and try, without letting go, to zip tie this whole bunch into the middle of the zip tie. Now you can let it go. Your fingers can relax a bit. And you can fix your tubes to make sure everything is in where it's supposed to be. Now I want my raffia towards the front. So this is going to be my front. I want it towards the front so you can actually see it. So I'm going to bring all these little strands to the front of it. So if you guys can see that, let's see if I can. So when I do put it on the wreath frame, it will be looking like this. So cute, huh? Okay, so I have my zip tie here. I'm not going to do it too tight, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip the zip tie through there. So I'm going to take another zip tie and I'm going to put it through this zip tie. Okay, it's almost threading it, making sure your flat side is facing the ceiling still, so when you go to put it in on your Jimmy-O-Lantern, you can still zip it in. Okay, now I'm going to grab the two pieces just like that, and I'm going to, with this hole, so this, I'm going to be using this hole that has the shared piece of orange right at the top. It's the very, very center one. I'm going to put this zip tie in one end through that hole, and then the other end is going to come around the outside of the frame. Okay, I'm going to flip it around with everything go flying, and I'm going to zip it. Okay, now that you can zip nice and tight. Oh, I tightened it too. Ugh! Now that's what I mean about if you tighten it too tight on the board without popping it in the hole, I'm just going to leave the head up there. You guys will see. You only do it a couple times and then you'll see what I mean. But no, I'm going to, as soon as I finish shooting the video, the tutorial for it is when we'll put it up, because I want to make sure when people get their boards, they're going to get the tutorial as well. So I need you to make those few tweaks to the board that I needed you to make. Yeah, so Dave is the problem of the hold up on the horses, because I have a few tweaks I need to it and he hasn't. So there you go. Dave's fault. Okay, so now you can move. Oh, I put it in backwards because I had the raffia at the front there. All right. There we go. And then you can move around your tubes and everything. So we're going to push this over and continue on. So we've done half of him already. Let's just see what it looks like when we light it up. Isn't that, well, you guys can't really even see because the light's on. But I have my lights facing towards his face. You can have them facing outwards. That's totally up to you. So I am going to stop here and I'm going to see if anybody has any questions, because pretty much the rest of the wreath is exactly like I just showed you. So I don't want to waste your time or anything. I just wanted to get up to the top here so you guys can see how I did the green. I will finish it. I'll post a picture of when I've done it. But I don't want to waste people's time, because that's all, they're just going to be watching me zip in ruffles, right? So one ruffle with tubing and raffia. And yes, these are a dollar store. Well, our dollar store. Now, our dollar, like everything in Canada, it's really expensive. Like our dollar stores are not $1. Nothing in the store is $1, but it's called the dollar store. So everything in the store is either $1.25, $2, $3, or $4. Yeah, go figure. How stupid is that, right? So these lights are from this dollar store, but they're like $3 in this dollar store. But they're awesome. I have not been able to find them, and I've been looking for them for years. And you can't even order, like this has, you can't order online or anything. So I am going to scour all of Canada and get as many as I can.
How long are those? Like, you know what the length of them are?
No, where's the pack? No, they're 20, they have 20 bulbs on them. Yeah. Oh, to glue the battery pack on. So what you're going to do is, once you're done, I'm going to flip them over. Okay. Just one sec, I'll answer questions. And then you're going to clip all your tails off. Now I'm using my scissors, which I usually say is a no-no, but I don't know where my wire cutters are. So I'm going to clip them all off. See, this is, well, it's a Unique in the Creek wreath because I made it. But once it's done, it's not a Unique in the Creek wreath anymore. It's one of your wreaths. Okay, so look how nice and neat that is. Now I'm going to glue the battery pack. I didn't turn my glue gun on, but you're going to just put some hot glue. Now use Gorilla Glue, okay? Don't, or some kind of like Sure Bond or something. Don't use glue sticks from the dollar store because in the heat, if it's like hot in October or whatever, it's going to melt off. So even use E6000 or something really good, but make sure you glue the side that is not going to have the door for the battery, because you want them to be able to change the batteries. Now these batteries will last pretty much the whole season, just because you never leave them on, so they're not wasted. So when I glue it, I make sure what side I'm gluing. I put a whole bunch of glue just on the back of it, and then I just glue it in between the two holes, and I glue it so that the on-off switch is at the bottom. So if they do want to shut it off, they can just, they don't have to take their wreath off or anything. They can just switch it on and off without taking it right off the door.
How big are those faces?
The faces are 10.5 inches. Yeah. So they fit perfectly. Well, this one is a little bit bigger because this is last year's. When I did last year's, it was a little bigger. So I just punched holes after I Mod Podged it.
Where do you get clothespins? The only clothespins I can find are the wooden ones, and they break easily.
I get my clothespins wherever. I got these steel ones, these metal ones. They're really, really good. You can see how good they close. I paid a lot of money for these. I think I got these at Home Depot. So most of my clothespins come from the dollar store.
Did you come with this idea for wreath making?
I did. I invented this idea. I was a do-it-yourself teacher for many years, and I was doing the wire frame, and I got bored just teaching burlap wreaths, so everybody wanted to make a deco mesh wreath. And to teach a deco mesh wreath to like 20-30 people, just trying to tell them like, okay, now use ring 3 section 2 and do your thing like this, and you have to loop your pipe cleaner so your ruffle doesn't spin around and stuff like that, was impossible. So that's when I came up with the idea. I think Davey remembers me coming home one night saying, I got to figure out an easy way to make a deco mesh wreath because people want the shiny wreaths. And when they first said that, I'm like, the shiny wreaths, they meant the metallic, the fun ones. So I sat, and as I just started drawing and came up with this idea and found somebody to start manufacturing it and working with me, and we changed different holes, and it was quite a long process. You guys may look at it as a board with holes, especially the flower one, but those holes are strategically placed to make all different kinds of flowers with the same board. So I can look at a real flower and actually recreate that flower on my frame. It's just about using patterns. Now, I know a lot of you that have started with me in April are actually creating your own flowers, and that's awesome. So, and that's what I want. I want people to start doing stuff with it and showing, because like I said, there is a lot of you out there. You don't want to stay there. There's a lot of you out there much, much more talented than I I may be a little bit creative, but I'm not the greatest wreath maker. I'm not talented like some of you. So when you guys get your hands on your boards, the stuff that you're coming up with is just blowing my mind. You know, it's incredible. And I love when you guys send me your pictures, because it just makes my heart happy thinking, oh my gosh. And you know, there's a lot of people like me that are disabled and hard to use their hands and stuff, and can't use pipe cleaners. I can't use pipe cleaners. I have eczema on my hands, and the pipe cleaners cut my fingers. And then when you go to try and cut the pipe cleaner, it pokes you and you have to push it down and it scratches the door. That's why I don't use pipe cleaners. Now, saying that, our boards can be used with pipe cleaners if you want them. But why would you want them? Like, look, zip ties. Look how nice and neat that is. So yeah, there's no covering up with mesh and everything. So that is how that became. And it's been quite a long process. I've tested it out on elderly. I've tested it out on younger. Youngest was 10. I've done a lot of workshops with it. So I've had guinea pigs, you know, friends and stuff, trying it. And that's how I've progressed on making it better and better. So then I've done Facebook Lives with it. So people would come to my house, pick up kits. So I would pre-make them kits. So it would be so easy to pre-make kits for you guys, and then have a Facebook Live, and your friends and family or the people around you or wherever that can come and pick up your kits, like, you know, a couple days before your Facebook Live, they can all make the wreath with you. So you teach them in the comfort of your own home how to make the same wreath, just like you're doing with me right now.
Yeah, everyone does have their own ideas, and that's what we want, is everybody to.
Yeah, I just want everybody to give it a try and, you know, come up with different things. It's a lot of fun, especially if you're very creative. You can do some really wonderful things with this. We are coming out with small boards. I have a small one, and what I'm doing with the small one is making centerpieces with it. So yeah, like Christmas centerpieces, but you can make small flowers with it. But I'm going to be using it for making centerpieces. So, and we have a Christmas tree, so that will be very, very popular. And the nice thing too is that we make them so you will always be able to get a frame, not like when you order something from like Craft Outlet or something and they're always out of stock. That's another thing that really irked me. You know, I would try and plan a workshop and go to buy the frames, and, you know, running around from Dollar Tree to Dollar Tree trying to find a frame, and then half the Dollar Tree frames were broken, so I started ordering from Craft Outlet their wire frames, and they were always sold out, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is just crazy.
That download on my phone, do I have to download on my phone, or can I download on my iPad?
You can
I purchased the boards on and download on my phone. Do I have to download on my phone, or can I download on the iPad?
I'm not sure if you're talking about the actual faces or the faces signed. Wherever you can actually hand your phone to Office Depot or Office Max, and they can print it. You have to have a PDF reader on your phone or your iPad or your computer. The PDF reader is what opens up the file that was sent to you. The PDF readers are free. So most computers come with a PDF reader. Again, if you set, like if you're going to be doing a workshop and you're going to be ordering lots of these faces, do yourself a favor and do it online. Because if you send the file to Staples or Office Max or whatever online, it's cheaper than if you go into the store and actually get them to do it right away. So if you're not in a rush for them, like I send 100, like when I was doing workshops, I would, like in the summer, Staples had like a 25% off sale on anything, any copy stuff. So when I was knew I was going to do all these Christmas workshops, I sent hundreds of I ordered hundreds of faces. So in the middle of the summer, so I could use the 25% off coupon, because, you know, 25% off, again, I'm frugal. 25% off $1, you know, makes it 75 cents. That's, you know, 25 cents times 100 in your pocket. So, and it's cheaper. You get a cheaper price online because it's not on demand. So if you go into the store, that's they consider on demand. Now, saying that, I sent orders to Staples, and they messaged me back within an hour that my order's ready to pick up. And of course, I send my kids over, okay, stop at Staples, pick up mom's order. And then it would come to the point where any of us would walk into Staples and they would grab my order right away. They knew who we were. I very rarely, usually my son ran over and got them. So,
what kind of raffia ribbon do you use?
Oh, it's on a spool. I actually got a few colors. I got black. This one is from Paper Mart. It's an oatmeal color. Can you see that? And it says a 1/4 inch oatmeal matte raffia ribbon from Paper Mart. There is a ton. It's really thick. There's a ton on here. And like I said, it's plastic, but you can, it rips just like raffia. So I know a lot of you guys are like me and you want to make it look really rustic. So it does still rip just like raffia, but it's plastic and you can measure it so you can be precise, and it's not all over the place. Oh my gosh. Last year when I was using this, making all the kits and stuff for fall, my dogs were like wrapped in raffia. So when I found this online at Paper Mart, I was just like, hallelujah, because I just wrap it around and then I put a clothespin. I use clothespins for everything. I put a clothespin so it doesn't unravel.
How do I go about getting the kit?
I'm not selling the kit. The kits. Oh, there we go. I'm not selling the kits. I only sold the kits for the flowers because there wasn't a lot of supplies for the flowers. So it's pretty much the flowers were some green mesh, a roll, and some zip ties. So that was easy for me to manage. These kits, there's not really much that you really need for any of them. Most of the stuff, and I did, if you go to my events section of my Facebook page, I'm doing one of these character wreaths a week. I think next week, or the week after, not next week. Next week I'm going to Nova Scotia, but the week after I'm doing Priscilla Spiderbottom. I use, all my stuff that I use for these wreaths are from Dollar Tree. So if you're holding a workshop and you want to make a bunch of witches, order a case of the Dollar Tree hats. I was showing them today in my Facebook Live of what I do. I just use and they're perfect, the Dollar Tree witch hats. I put a triangle of plastic mesh inside the hat. Then I fold the brim over in half, and then I glue the edge. Actually, hold on a second. I'll grab it. Right here. Okay. Frugal Reaper. So these hats are from Dollar Tree. These witch hats. Okay. I ordered cases of them. They're only $1, and you can order them online, so you can order as many as you want. So they come like this, right? Open. But they're the perfect size for our wreath frame. So even if I put Jack up here, so it's hard to see, but these were the perfect size, and they're $1. You can't beat that. I can't even make that for $1. So what I would do is I would just get some plastic mesh, or everybody has that. You can buy it at the dollar store, and I would just cut it in I just cut it in a triangle, and I stick it in the hat. This gives the hat substance to stand up. I fold the brim in half, and then I'll put glue in here. Hold the plastic mesh down so it's like inside the hat, and then I'm going to put some glue like around the edges here and just hold it, clothespin it. So if you're gluing, clothespin it, clothespin it, let it sit for a few minutes, and you have an awesome witch hat to put on your frame. So you would just have to poke a couple holes, like right here with your scissor and right here, and we zip tie the hat right on to the board, and that's it.
You ever thought about doing candy canes?
No. You know why? Because Dollar Tree has a candy cane wreath form that is so easy that it wouldn't even be worth my time. I'm trying to do stuff that is out of stock all the time, and it's a little harder to make, like the horse wreath. Have you ever seen the horse wreath frame? Lord, oh my God. I've already tried it. So that's what I came up with, like with the horse thing. It's like, okay, I can make this way easier than this frame.
Small boards and Christmas trees are available.
Yes, I do. I put everything on my Facebook page.
So, again.
I'm going to finish him tonight, and we'll post a picture. Okay, so he's only half done. I just wanted to get some question and answers from you guys if you wanted.
Tina wants to know how she can send a rough picture of Santa to you that she likes your opinions.
Just send it to me. Just email it to me at uniqueinthecreek@hotmail, or just send me a picture through Messenger. That's fine.
Turn the camera down so we can see.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm just reading it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's it. So even the graveyard is really, really cool. Okay. I use just a black mesh, and then I put in a little bit of burgundy, a few pieces of green, or just burgundy and black, whatever, to make it look creepy looking. But at Dollar Tree, and I buy them by the caseload. Now, I won't buy them by the caseload this time, but it's a long arm. It's just the bone of a hand, right? And it's one of those ones that you can stake in the ground. I came up with where I just poke a hole through the back of it. Now, this hand is really cool because I have it where it's placed that it looks like it's coming out of the grave, but that hand glows in the dark. So even if your lights aren't on, it just looks like a hand floating on your front door. It's so cool. And then I buy the creepy cloth, you always wonder, what am I going to do with that? That creepy cloth, I drape it over the graveyard mesh and kind of just zip tie it on. I throw a spider on there. And then they also have these crows. They're a black crow, and they're about this big. Now when I do the ghoulish graveyard, I'll show you guys all this stuff. I think it's sometime in July. But they have this crow, and I mount the crow kind of at the top of the wreath, and you can barely see him because he is black. But then when somebody comes to the door, it caws, and it's annoying as crap. It's like, caca, caca, and it scares the bejesus. But all that for like $1. So the hand, the creepy cloth you can use for 4 wreaths. The crow's only $1. The center of the wreath is $1. I use purple or blue lights in the graveyard wreath, so it makes it even creepier. Yeah, so it's really
uniqueinthecreek.com. Right?
Yeah, it's uniqueinthecreek.com. Are you asking me?
I couldn't remember. Somebody asked if it was .com or .com.
No, it's .com. Anyways, so I have all kinds of great ideas. It's just a lot of fun, and these are great sellers at they're great sellers at craft shows, and I'll tell you why. You want to know why? I'll tell you why.
Why?
Yeah. Because when people come to craft shows, they're usually coming with maybe $60 in their pocket. If you have a wreath that's $80 to $100, you can have a few of those. Have 3 or 4 of those big wreaths that catch people's attention and draws you to it draws them to your booth. But when they get there, they only got $60 in their pocket, and they don't want to really spend more than $60. They certainly don't want to spend their whole $60 on a wreath. Majority, okay? I'm not saying everybody. If you have some wreaths that are around $40, those $40 wreaths, those big wreaths are bringing them to your booth. They may not sell.
Scott just ended. He's sending everybody over to you.
Oh, too late. See, he got his times backwards. Anyways, those big wreaths, make them. Still try and sell them, but make sure you have some small ones, because those small ones are going to sell like wildfire, okay? Make sure, don't throw a whole bunch of Jimmy-O-lanterns on the wall. Put 2 or 3. But have a bunch under your table. So when those those 3 that are on your booth or whatever sell, you replenish it. So it doesn't look like you're stockpiled a whole bunch and making your booth all look cluttered. But those are the wreaths that are going to sell. And I know that because I've been on the craft circuit for a long time. And you need something to catch people's eye, but you want them to buy. You don't want them just to come to your wreath, to your booth, have a look, say, oh, that's so pretty, but $100 or $120? And you can look and say, well, I have this one for $40, and I guarantee you they're going to buy it because they have that $60 in their pocket and still have $20 that they can spend at another booth. So that's my little tip of the day. If you are doing the craft circuit, continue to make those big, huge, pretty wreaths, but have some small wreaths that are affordable. Because let's face it, not everybody is going to spend, me personally, I would never spend $100 on a wreath. But, you know, if you can afford it, those people will. Majority of the people, they can't afford $100, $200 for a wreath. So have them something, have a variety. And then something like this is really, really cute, right? Like, it's really cute, and they don't mind spending $40 on it because it's cute. They'll use it over year after year. And for you, it took you an hour to make it. Very little supplies. You did it while you were watching TV. You know, it's really easy to do. And you can add your own flair to it. Like, you can add anything you want to these wreaths. You can add ribbon. You can add whatever. I like to keep things simple because, you know what, simple, sometimes less is more.
For everybody coming over from Scott, yeah, you'll show the wreath tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm going to show the wreath finished tomorrow. I already showed half done, and I was taking some questions.
Aren't you doing one with Scott?
I am doing one with Scott. We are doing one together. I didn't realize he was doing one today. I think he just got really, really excited because his boards came, because I know I talked to him this afternoon because he was at Michael's. So we are doing one. So I just wanted to make sure everybody got their frames first that wanted to do it with us. So I will be sending Scott a list of all the supplies you're going to need. And again, if you go on my events section of my Facebook page, there is an event for each week I've scheduled that I'm going to be making one of these wreaths. If you click on that event, in the description of that event, so what's that?
Scott was glowing.
Oh, in the event section, say for today's wreath of Jimmy O'Lantern, if you click on that event, the list of what I used is on the event. So each wreath that I'm making, the list is already there. Okay, and I just put it. I don't put the instructions in the frames because you can use whatever you want. You don't have to use deco mesh. You can use olifun. You can use burlap. So I don't want to tell you guys just use mesh because I want you guys to be creative. I'm going to suggest. That's why I'm doing these lives. I can suggest what I'm doing, and this is what I would do for a workshop because it is easy to get, very easy to do, but it can be done so much better. So you guys can add your own flair. Yeah, so I'm going to finish this wreath. I'm going to actually go watch my Housewives of New York City that I missed last night and finish the... You know what I've been starting to watch? Love it. Okay, I'm like a reality show junkie, okay? I used to be like one of those judge show junkies, so, you know, Judge Judy, Judge Joe Brown, everything, but now I'm a reality show junkie.
Okay, hold on. I got to ask everybody why they're saying...
Okay, why is everybody saying alert? We're really technically stupid over here. We really are, and it took us a while just to figure out how to do Facebook Live. We're creative, we're not technical. Why is everybody saying alert? Does that mean it tells you guys when I'm going live? You know what? It's funny because I bought all kinds of courses. You know, you can pay for courses, and I haven't had any time to actually do the courses. So I have no idea what I'm doing here.
There's a little bell at the top that you clicked if you want to know.
Oh, okay. So if anybody can help me, I tried to Google how to tell everybody when I'm going live. Like I learned the whole bot thing. That was.
Oh, I think when you press.
I think that was an experience in itself, but yeah. So if you have any hints for us, technically stupid people over here and make our lives a little easier. Oh, ask? Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll ask Scott. So hopefully I'm going to meet some of you guys. I know I'm just a little person. And really, you know what? I only have 3,000 people, you know, and I love you guys all. I really do. You guys, when you message me, I'm still the one that's answering you back. And I'm hoping and praying that I can still be the one always answering you back, because I really like that one-on-one, and I get to know you, and I've got to know a lot of you from messaging me, you sending me your pictures and stuff like that. So I want, even though we're getting big, I still want to keep that personal one-on-one with you guys. So I'm hoping to still be able to answer you guys. So yeah, if you have some question or message, send it to me. I may not be able to get to you as fast as I used to, but I'm still going to get to you, okay? That is pretty much my role in Unique in the Creek, is coming up and doing Facebook Lives and answering questions. Yeah, so, and it's a lot of fun.
Sherry, yes, we are worldwide.
Yes, we are worldwide. Our international patent has gone through. It's the shipping. We're trying to figure out shipping.
Australia.
Yeah, we shipped out a. Was it?
Was it? So I think Australia was $22. Not positive.
We're still looking into it. Like I said, the international thing just happened, and the shipping somebody did order from the UK, from Scotland, and from Australia. So I'll let you guys know how that went. But yeah, we do. I would love to get into those countries, because apparently somebody was telling me when I was talking to them from Scotland that people over in the UK and there, they think of wreaths as funerals. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. So that's why wreathing over there is not a huge thing. So I think we should make it a huge thing, because this doesn't look like a funeral. At least to me it doesn't. So yeah, so if I can answer you, I will. Oh, hi. There is the CEO of Unique in the Creek. She's feeling so much better. She won't keep her muzzle on, but what am I going to do? She was hurting herself more trying to get that muzzle off than her actual mouth was. So she's doing much, much better. And thank you guys all for your concern, because you guys know I was totally devastated. Devastated. What are you doing? This is Lolly. This is my youngest daughter. Say hi, Lolly. Hi. Anyways, well, thank you guys for all spending your Tuesday evening with me. Yeah, really, what else is there to do on a Tuesday, right? Hi, you baby. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to go snuggle.
Doing another one, right?
Next Tuesday, no, because I'm gone away. Or am I gone away? I'm leaving on the 6th. So
next Tuesday you're here.
Okay, so next Tuesday I'm probably doing one. So check the event section. There's only 2 weeks in the summer that I'm not doing it, so I'm going to be doing crafting all through the summer, mostly of the fall stuff to get you guys ramped up for your fall craft shows and stuff like that. And I'm working on a poppy. Yes, poppy for November. So anyways, I'm going to let you guys go. And thank you guys all. Yes, Patricia. My Great Pyrenees. I don't know, she's lazy. Look at her. I love her. I love you guys. See you all soon. Bye. 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 See, now I'm stupid. I don't know how to shut this off. Oh, wait, because I have too many orders coming in. What the heck? I need to get rid of that. Okay, sorry, guys. I'm still... because all these things keep popping up in the corner where I'm supposed to go for finish it. Oh my god. It's the Lori and Dave show. Okay, I'm just gonna unplug it. Bye guys.